everyone. Welcome back. It's another episode of Let's Be Real. I'm Tara, and there's no Sherry today. Boo. Unfortunately, Sherry's feeling a little under the weather, which is fine. I am going to ride solo for y'all, with y'all, and see if we can get some one-sided conversation for your listening ears. And I think I'll just give you guys a little short sneak peek of maybe some of the work I've been doing a lot lately, and maybe giving some introspection and some reflection on work you could be doing, whether you're a participant in mental health as a consumer, or maybe you're a provider and you want some new ideas to bring your own client base, or you want to just strike a conversation about what's been working for you and your clients or yourself, and we can stir up a bigger conversation from there. But I know one thing I've been talking about a lot, even today, I had a really, really good session about decision making. And that's something that I feel like a lot of my clients really tune into and struggle with. It doesn't even have to do with anxiety so much as it's just something that we consider. Decisions are things we make infinite decisions are made in our lifetime, and we make countless decisions every day. Some matter more than others. Some are deciding what shirt you're going to wear today, or what you wanted to have for breakfast to get you as fueled up for the rest of your day. And then there's other decisions. Like at this time of the year, I work with a lot of student athletes who are thinking about what's going to happen after graduation. What's going to happen if they want to transfer to another school and play at another school. So a lot of things to consider. And those are very heavy decisions because they can influence a lot of things. But exactly that, if we focus on what happens so far down the road, we really lose sight of the decision that can happen in the next moment and the moment after that, in the next 10 minutes. But if we're so worried about 10 years, how are we able to reflect on the decisions that are worthwhile for today? So just touching on a lot of what halts us in decision making and what makes us feel maybe in a state of stuck or frozen. I know a lot of that is rooted in fear, right? Fear of making the right decision, fear of making the wrong decision. How do I know that this is something that's going to serve me and serve my goals? And if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you'll hear in our episode with Heather that I talked about we can't make decisions with tomorrow's information. You won't have it until tomorrow, but a decision in some regard has to be made today. Most of us have deadlines in certain things, and it's worthwhile exploring using today's information, using as much objective information as we can use. What can you decide today? Now, realistically, we are not all logical. We are deeply emotional beings. We're creatures of emotion, and we feel a full rainbow of emotions. And allowing the fear, which is an emotion, to dictate what happens next keeps us either stuck or hyper fixated on what that end result is. And we have so many decisions. We have so much life to live between now and that long term. So yes, there's a decision today that could really influence what 10 years looks like. But deciding if it's right or wrong can only be decided with today's information and not the information from 10 years from now. So easier said than done. Things that are simple are not always easy. So allowing yourself room to be frustrated, to be angry, to feel stuck, and then allow yourself the self-compassion to recognize that you're not wrong for feeling stuck. There's nothing wrong with you. That's not a problem to be fixed. It's something to reflect on. It's something to appreciate about your existence, is to have this decision, to have this choice, and to really decide what it is for you. The word selfish came up again in today's session that I'm thinking of. And a lot of times decisions can feel selfish. A lot of times there's one option that may feel so obviously helpful for others, and then the other one really is obviously helpful for yourself. And that can be tricky too. But I've also mentioned how fear teaches us a lot about what we need and what we value and what we look for in this life of ours. So those fears are teaching you a lot about what's to come, about what to anticipate, about what is worthwhile for you. So if one option scares you more than the other, lean into that fear and find out what that fear is telling you. Instead of running from it, instead of being scared of the fear, lean into what that is teaching you about yourself and about the decisions that you tend to make. Do they tend to be for other people? Do they tend to be for yourself? And is that in line with what you want for your life? Is that what makes life worth living for you? And you're the only one that can answer that. You're the only one that has to answer that. That's your self-compassion. Giving yourself time and giving yourself space to explore and not burden yourself with the right versus wrong decision. Because usually, if you're thinking of right versus wrong, you're thinking about tomorrow's information. And tomorrow's information will find you. It's coming. It'll find you. But it won't happen today. And that's okay. You can sit easy. So one tool I really like to offer as well in terms of decision making, let's say you've got a full spectrum of options. And some seem very obviously no, like I would never. Then you can cross those off your list, right? Take note of them, register them, and then move them right off of your list. You're able to do that. You have that capacity to put it on your list and then take it off. Accomplishment number 1, done. And then when the ones that are left over, I do this a lot with my anxious-minded folks, is ride the wave of what if. What if I choose this? What if I choose that? If you leave the question just as what if, then you've given so much power to that question. And that's what often leaves us so paralyzed is, what if? Well, oh my goodness, I don't know. That's a good option. That's a not great option, but it's something I have to consider. I can imagine if Sherry was sitting with me right here, she might talk about relationships, might talk about the decision, the gravity of divorce, for example. What if I go down this route? What if I don't? Well, that's a pretty big, heavy decision or choice or set of tasks to undertake. That can leave anybody paralyzed in, I don't want to think about it. That's huge. That's a mountain of a task. But if you're going to hike a mountain, you got to start with a step, right? So that's what if is all about, is taking your steps. So what if that's the road I want to go down? Okay, well, if that's it, then what? What if, then what? Well, then I will consult with so-and-so. Well, then I will get the support that I need from this. Well, then I will go on job boards and look for another job. Just depending on what decision you're facing, what if, then what is your friend. Ride the wave. It's way less intimidating once you engage in that process than it seems. But if you let that mountain stay a mountain, it's going to stay as big as it looks. But mountains are conquerable. We have plenty of them on this planet that are conquerable. And your mountain is conquerable too. Just make sure you're not your own mountain getting in the way, right? So riding the wave, what if, then what? Riding it out all the way till you've exhausted that solution. Until the end of your solution is, I could get over it, or this would affect me way too much. I need to look into other options. Then hop on another wave. What's the other option? What's another consideration? Ride that what if. Say if it's time to switch careers. I could stay in the job that I have now, be less than satisfied. I could collect my little paycheck, collect my little benefits, but I'm obviously not content with that. So I don't have to change. Nothing's pushing me out, but there's a decision to be made. And the decision to stay, it's still a decision. And the decision to switch careers. Well, maybe I want to open my own business. Well, that sounds like a mountain, doesn't it? So I'm going to leave that alone. No, we're not going to leave it alone. We're going to explore it. Lots of resources, lots of things at our fingertips to help ride out these waves. So what if you want to start your own business? Learn about LLCs, learn about small businesses in your neighborhood, learn about your local resources for small business owners or pitch competitions, things like that. There's a place to start and arm yourself with more information. You don't have to be stuck on this island of, I'm doing it all by myself. Plenty of people have started businesses and it's not impossible. People have done it. So engaging in that what if, well, I could do this. I could start an LLC and this would be my product or this would be my service. And within the first year of being open, I can expect this kind of revenue, or maybe I don't, and I'm just going to make some adjustments in my budget to make it fit. Maybe I can take my current job to part-time to make room for this. Really writing out what these opportunities are. So stagnation, staying the same is still a decision. But if you're faced with something else, I think it's worthwhile to consider for yourself. We have this world of opportunity. We have so much at our dispense. And it's up to you what you want to take advantage of. But in that process, if you're catching yourself in fear and you're catching yourself in anxiety of, what if I make the wrong decision? I'm going to ask you to take a breath, sit down, ground your feet into the floor, wiggle your toes a little bit, and offer yourself some self-compassion that you can't know the right information if it's not coming for you today. If it's coming for you tomorrow, then you'll have new information to work with. Maybe the decision can wait till tomorrow, maybe it can't. But take what you can objectively and reject the rest. Take what you can emotionally and embrace all of it. You got this.